And a very good Monday morning, afternoon, evening, everyone. Joe Benigno back with you again. The Older Pain Podcast, Monday, February 24th, 2025. The Joe Benigno Older Pain Podcast brought to you by the Hackensack Brewing Company, by Anita Discount Tire, and, of course, by Manscaped. We'll start with this. Thankfully, Optimum has come to terms with the MSG Network. Altice, I guess, is the parent company that takes care of this, and the 2 months without the MSG Network is over. So I'm very happy about that. I can see the Knicks and the Rangers again now. Very good. You know, it's funny. The other night, it was Saturday. My daughter and my grandson are over, and I'm sitting there watching the end of one of the college basketball games, and she comes in and says, "Mom just got a thing that the MSG Network is back." I go, wow, just in time, because the Rangers were playing. This is like almost just about the start of the Ranger game, 5:30 on Saturday against Buffalo. And I put it on, and just in time to watch the Rangers give up 5 freaking goals in the first period and get hammered in an 8-2 blasting by the Buffalo Sabres. So that's how the return of MSG came to me. The Rangers bounced back yesterday with a nice win over Pittsburgh as Shesterkin basically saved them in a second period where the entire period was played in front of them. And that happens too much with the Rangers. But they beat Pittsburgh 5-3 yesterday. I think they're 2 points out of a playoff spot. We'll see where they go from here. They got a big game tomorrow on the island against the Islanders. So Islanders losing last night at home to Dallas. So big game coming up for the Rangers tomorrow as they try to get into the playoffs. 25 games to go, and they have 60 points. So we'll see where they go from here. But very happy to have the Optimum back, with the MSG Network as we went 2 months without it. Now, yesterday was actually a very big sports day in New York. You had St. John's playing their big game at home against UConn at the Garden. You had the Knicks trying to beat the Celtics for the first time this year in Boston, and obviously the Ranger-Pittsburgh game. Let's talk about the Knicks, because here's the bottom line on the Knicks. Are they good? Yeah, they're a good team. There's no doubt about it. Third best team in the East. What is their record now? 38-19, I believe their record is right now. But here's the bottom line. They're headed for another second round and out exit in the playoffs. I mean, there's no doubt about it. They got whacked again by the Celtics yesterday. A third time this year they've lost to Boston. They're 0-3 against them. They're 0-2 against Cleveland, who blew them out. Beat them by 37 points on Friday night, just an absolute blasting. And, they're 0-2 against them, and they're 0-2 against the Oklahoma City Thunder. So the top 3 teams in the league, the Knicks are 0-7 against them and haven't even been competitive. I mean, it's not even a matter that they've lost, all 7 of those games. They're not even competitive in these games. I mean, yesterday they were down 27 points. I put the game on late second period. Maybe it was early. Maybe it was just after halftime. I was watching St. John's just after halftime, and they're down 27 points. And I'm like, should I even watch this? I said, let me leave it on. And the Rangers, the Knicks make a big run to cut it to 4 in the third period. Brunson has a big period. Karl Anthony Towns. They cut it to 4 points, and then that's as close as they got. And then the Celtics kind of, just went from there and put it away. They wound up by 13. But you never got the feeling the Knicks were ever winning this basketball game. I mean, let's be honest about it. And there's been some disappointment with this team. Mikal Bridges has not been the player that we thought he was. He hasn't had as good a year as we thought he was going to have when they made that big trade with the Nets and, gave up, 5 first-round draft choices to get this guy? He hasn't been that. I think they miss Dominic DiVincenzo. I think they miss his toughness. I know they had to part with him as part of the deal to get Towns, but, I think they miss DiVincenzo's toughness. I think they miss his three-point shooting. They're not a very deep team at all, that's for sure. They got one guy off the bench, basically, McBride. We're still waiting for Mitchell Robinson, who's eternally hurt. It's unbelievable. And then you keep hearing, he's coming back anytime. Where is he? When's he ever coming back? Please. I mean, it's a joke with him, with Mitchell Robinson. He's injured more than Joel Embiid is. Almost as much as Ben Simmons. Think about that. Unbelievable. So, they're not a good defensive team. They give up 1 million points. They got a couple tough guys on the team. The heart and soul of the team to me is Josh Hart. No pun intended, but he really is. And then you got another tough guy in Brunson. Outside of that, I think they're soft. They're a soft team. I like Anunoby, but Anunoby's, he's another guy that gets hurt all the time. So, even though he's back now. So, look, I mean, they got a nice team. They're certainly back from the abyss of being the absolute disaster they were for 20 years. But there is no reason, if you're a Knicks fan, to think that this team is getting any farther than they've gotten the last 2 years when they got eliminated in the second round by Miami 2 years ago and eliminated in the second round last year by Indiana. So, what makes me think that's going to change? They can't beat Boston. They can't beat Cleveland. And if they're going to get to an NBA Finals, they're going to have to beat both of them in the playoffs. And right now, that does not look like it's happening. So, not a good day for the Knickerbockers yesterday as they go down for the third time this year to the Celtics in Boston in a game that really, like I said, they made a run to make it close, but you never got the feeling they were ever going to be in this game, and they wound up losing by double digits again to the Celtics. They play the Phillies. They play Philly, the Sixers. I believe Wednesday is that game. I think the game is in Philly as well. But look, the Knicks are going to win somewhere in 50-plus games. They're going to win 51, 52, somewhere in that range games. They're going to be the third seed in the Eastern Conference, and they're going to get bounced again in the second round of the playoffs. I mean, I hope I'm wrong when I say that. But, what I've seen right now, there's nothing to make me feel that there's going to be any different than what we've seen from them over the last 2 years. So that's the story as far as the Knickerbockers yesterday. Now, St. John's continues to roll. They beat up UConn yesterday, 89-75 at the Garden. All five starters in double figures yesterday. They're 24-4 now on the season. They come into the week the 10th-ranked team in the country. I think they're going to move up. I would think they would. They bounced back very nicely with 3 straight wins after they had that tough loss at Villanova 2 weeks ago. They beat Creighton. They beat DePaul. They blasted DePaul. And, beat up UConn. First time in, I think, 20-something years that they've beaten UConn, swept them in the regular season series. UConn, obviously, not the team that they've been. Not the team that's won 2 championships in back-to-back years. They're not the same team anymore. Still a team that you don't really, it'll probably be a tough out in the NCAA tournament, probably be a tough out in the Big East tournament. But right now, St. John's is rolling. They got games this week they should win. They got Butler coming up. They got Seton Hall coming up. These are games Johnny should win. And I look at him right now. If the Johnnies sweep the rest of the year, if they run the table the rest of the year through the regular season in the Big East and then they win the Big East tournament, I mean, you got to believe that they're going to be no worse than a 3 seed, maybe even a 2, and really need to stay in the Eastern Quadrant here in the NCAA tournament, because the Eastern Regionals they open in Providence, and then the regional finals are in Newark at the Prudential Center. So, pretty good home cooking there for St. John's. Of course, Patino, who he didn't start. He started at BU, but actually, remember he took Providence to the Final Four. Billy Donovan and company back in 1987, his first ever Final Four. Of course, he did it with Kentucky. He did it with Louisville. He won championships at Kentucky and Louisville as well. And he's trying to, make it 3. He's the only coach ever to win championships with 2 different schools, and he's got a chance to make it 3. And I believe if he got St. John's to the Final Four, I think he's the only coach ever to have 3 teams in the Final Four. I know 4 teams. I'm sorry, in the Final Four, 4 different schools. Calipari has 3 as well, with UMass, Memphis, and Kentucky. And, of course, Calipari now at Arkansas doing a damn good job there as well. So we'll see what happens, but you got to be excited right now if you're a St. John's fan. For once, the Garden was loaded with St. John's fans when they played UConn. So they're rolling right now. And I think they're going to make a jump. Like I said, they start this week as the number 10 team in the country, and I think they got to move up at least a couple spots, maybe to number 8 overall. So, like I said, if St. John's runs the table the rest of the way, I got to believe they're going to be no worse than a 3 seed and maybe even a 2 seed in the NCAA tournament, and can stay. You want to avoid having to play Duke or Auburn in the Sweet 16. You want to avoid having to do that. So we'll see how that goes. But big day yesterday for St. John's as they just continue to roll now. What are they, 15-2 in the Big East, leading the conference, and, of course, 24-4 overall. Just continuing to play outstanding Outstanding basketball. Now, the third game yesterday, we started out with St. John's, then the Knicks game, and then the Ranger game in Pittsburgh. And as I said, big bounce back win after the embarrassing 8-2 blowout coming back from the four-country deal, which, of course, the United States lost in the final to Canada. But they looked like they were not ready to play hockey in that game against Buffalo. They bounced back. Shesterkin, as I said, really, I thought Shesterkin saved them yesterday. This was a 1-1 game going into the second period. And if you watched the game yesterday, the entire second period was played in front of Shesterkin. I mean, he made save after save. There was a point in the second period where Pittsburgh was out shooting the Rangers 14-0. And he kept that at 1-1. And somehow the Rangers got out of the period with the lead. I mean, Miller got JT Miller, who had 2 goals yesterday, got an empty net of 2. Got the goal to make it 2-1. Actually had the lead after the second period. Pittsburgh came back, scored a couple early goals, one cheap goal that bounced off the Keandre Miller and went right through Shesterkin's legs. But then the Rangers came back. Tying goal by Jimmy Vesey, 100th of his career. Adam Fox with the go-ahead goal. And then finally Miller topped it off with the empty netter. So big bounce back by Shesterkin yesterday. And, look, the Rangers are 2 points out of a playoff spot, 25 games to go. The Islanders, as I mentioned, coming up tomorrow on the island at UBS. Big game for them, too. They lost to Dallas last night. Had a goal. Looked like they had scored the tying goal, and they got it disallowed on a goalie interference call, and they wound up losing the game 4-3 to Dallas. So they're chasing a playoff spot right now, too. So we'll see what happens. Big game tomorrow at UBS. The Rangers and the Islanders always fun. And how about this? I can actually watch it now that I have the MSG Network back. So very, very, very happy about that. There's no question about it. Now, as far as my baseball team is concerned, how about Juan Soto? I know it's only spring training, but how about Juan Soto in his first at-bat as a Met in spring training, and he hits a bomb home run to left center field, like a 425-foot blast. Welcome to the Mets, Juan Soto. Now, I don't want to get nuts about it. I don't want to get crazy about it. I don't want to get delirious about it. But, you got to feel good if you're a Met fan. I got my concerns about the starting rotation. I mentioned that. But got to feel good about the Mets. I see where this guy, Nick, what's his name? Madrigal, this, nondescript shortstop they got from the Cubs. I guess he's hurt now. So, to me, they should bring Iglesias back. They really should. I know they want to go with the young guys. I know you want to go with Acuna. I know you want to go with Mauricio and give these guys a shot in the infield. But I want to see Iglesias back. I mean, really, let's go. Get him back. He was another heart and soul guy for the Mets last year. I think it's something that they need to do. So we'll see. Spring training has started. Before you know it, we'll have the start of the season. Weather change. How about the change in the weather this week? It's going to be in the 50s this week here in the metropolitan area. Might actually be able to get out and play a little golf. How about that? Oh my God. My wife's with delirious. Supposed to be 53 degrees tomorrow, and 53 degrees when it's been like seemingly minus 10 for a month is going to feel like 80. So I actually was out yesterday and walking, and it was nice out. I mean, even though it was still cold, it was only in the 40s. But, it was a nice day yesterday. There's no question about that. So we'll see. It's supposed to be nice again today. Not quite. You probably could play today. I don't think it's going to quite get to 50. But, right on, at least for me, I don't know about my wife, but at least for me, right on the border of me playing today, if it's around 50 degrees or so. So, we'll see how it all plays out. Hopefully we'll be able to get out tomorrow, but that remains to be seen. Joey T, who I guess his love life is really, really picking up. It's unbelievable. He better get, you know what, Joey, you better get it done soon before the regular season starts, because then you're shot. Your Friday nights and Saturday nights, forget it. When the Mets are playing, it's all over. So, right, your focus will be, you got one shoulder looking at one eye looking at her and one eye looking at the TV for the Met game. So let's hope he can get things straightened out. No doubt about it. All right, Benigno, the Pain podcast. That's really the wrap up right now. It's really funny, because it's such a quiet time in sports. I mean, I understand you got the two indoor teams. Get the Knicks and the Rangers playing. You got the college basketball. We're still a little ways away from the March Madness, although it's coming pretty rapidly. But at least we had a solid day yesterday. The golf yesterday, I didn't even pay attention to it. The Mexican Open, right? I don't think anybody played. Was there anybody playing in the Mexican Open yesterday that you knew who he was? I mean, I had no interest whatsoever in it. First of all, who the hell wants to go play in Mexico? You're going to do dodge the cartels as you're going down there? I mean, I think that's part of it. Who the hell wants to play there? That's why you got all these guys you never heard of. I don't even know who won. I know Joey texted me, and I think there was a 3-way playoff. I think there was. I'm not even sure. But we'll get back. I think they go to Florida now. I want to say the PGA National is coming up this week. The one down at PGA. I forget what they call it, but whatever. I think that one's coming up. You got Bay Hill coming up soon with the Arnold Palmer. Obviously, the Players will be coming up in March. So you got some big tournaments coming up. And before you know it, we'll be in Augusta for the Masters. So very excited about that.
Brian Campbell won.
Who won it? Brian
Campbell.
Wow. Look at it. My wife's showing me the leaderboard now. This is yesterday. Brian Campbell. If you ever heard of him, I don't know. If you related to the coach of the Lions, Dan Campbell. So I guess it was a two-way playoff between Brian Campbell and some guy, who is this guy? Poitgetter? I mean, look at these guys. I mean, I'm looking at the leaderboard here. Wow. I'm going down. All right, Joel Damon, I know. He finished 3 shots back. Who else? Batia, I know. He finished 5 shots back. Wow. I mean, you talk about a nondescript tournament.
Yeah.
Wow. Right. I mean, there was nobody playing in this.
They got to fix this with the live.
Well, I don't think anybody wants to play in Mexico. I mean, to me, that's it. I mean, who the hell wants to go down there? None of these guys. Rory wants to go to play in Mexico, right? You want to play there? Scheffler wants to play in Mexico. They don't want to play there. Spieth wants to play in Mexico. JT, Matsuyama, they don't want to play there. It's unbelievable. So, in a play, I guess it was a playoff. Brian Campbell wins the Mexican Open at Vedanta, I guess that's the name of it. However you say the golf course here. So, yeah. But thank God that, and something's got to be done to get, and we talk about this all the time, but something's got to be done to get the live guys back playing in a regular basis on a PGA Tour, because it takes away so much. And then when you have a tournament like that, where none of the big guys on a PGA Tour want to play anyway, I mean, it's a disaster, right? It really is. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens. But like I said, I believe, just check out what the tournament, I think it's the one at PGA National this week. It is. Let me know.
I don't know.
My wife's going to check it out. So while she's doing that, let's get our sponsors in here. The Hackensack Brewing Company. I've been trying to I got to tell you, because I've been trying to put this together. I've been trying to get in touch with Jones. It has not been easy to do, to find out where we're going here with this. Are we going to, around the start of the season, are we going to, when the season starts, are we going to have our first live podcast? That remains to be seen, but trying to work on that right now. But you know the story. Located 10 minutes off the George Washington Bridge, 30 seconds off Route 4 in beautiful Who Needs a House out in Hackensack. The tap room's open 4:30 to 10 Monday through Friday, 2 to 10 Saturday, 12 to 8 Sunday, 78 Johnson Avenue in Hackensack. Check out my Eau de Pain beer when you're down there. Got all the different incarnations of it, the Jet incarnation, the Met incarnation, as TJ does a fabulous job with all of that down there. Now you got, so check out, we'll let you know as soon as I know about the next live podcast at the Hackensack Brewing Company. What do you got for me on the golf?
Well, the next one is the Cognizant Classic in the Palm Beaches.
Oh, really?
Which is February 27th to March the 2nd.
Right, so that's this weekend.
Palmer isn't until the following week.
Okay. Where is this? What's the golf course?
The Cognizant Classic
is where? Is that
PGA National?
It is that PGA. So so it is a PGA National. They just changed the name of the. They have a different sponsorship. So yeah, you get to see the what do you call it? They call it the Bear Trap, with the 3 big holes. They got a lot of let me tell you, PGA National to me. I actually played it years ago when I really couldn't play. Not that I could play now, but when I really couldn't play. At least I can hold my own now. But PGA National is one of the top courses there is. It's got all this water. What is it? 16, 17, 15, 16, and 17 with all these holes over water. 2 of them are par 3s, complete water to the green. Great golf course. So that's coming up this week. And then the Bay Hill is the week after. You'll see everybody playing at Bay Hill. I don't know if all the big guys are going to play at PGA National this week, but to me, the golf course is the big star. So that is coming this week. Bay Hill, you'll see everybody. Rory will be there. JT will be there. Matsuyama, Scheffler, hopefully Schauffele, who's been banged up. Patrick Cantlay, Aberg, Matsuyama. You'll see everybody play in a couple weeks at Bay Hill at Arnold Palmer's tournament. But we're starting to get into the meat now of the PGA, and thankfully we're by this brutal tournament in Mexico that nobody played in, and nobody ever heard of anybody that played in it. So anyway, let's get back to the sponsors. Of course, go see my son Johnny. Go see his boss Ari at Anita Discount Tire. Anything you need with your car, of course, tires, inspection, whatever you need, that's the place to go. It's in beautiful Rivervale, New Jersey on Westwood Avenue. Go check it out. Tell them I sent you, and they will take care of you for all your automotive needs. Absolutely will take care of you for that. And, of course, my good friends, the one and only guys that I love so much at Manscaped. Been telling you for a long time about Manscaped, the Beard and Balls bundle from Manscaped, your ultimate grooming MVP. You got the hedger for your face. You got the Ultra 5.0 lawnmower for the lower extremities. It's the best. It's the only way to go. They got everything. They take care of your top. They take care of your bottom. They give you that illusion of extra inches that all us men love, even if it's only an illusion, Hey, we'll take it, right? I mean, I know I will. I can use a couple extra. There's no doubt about it. I've also got the underwear, which I love. Keep your balls in place. Check it out. They got the Manscaped T-shirts, which are really nice. The whole deal. Love the underwear. Love the T-shirts. Don't forget the Manscaped body wash and shampoo. Actually, it's shampoo and conditioner, but I use it as a body wash, and I smell great. I absolutely smell freaking tremendous. Be the MVP of your grooming routine with the Beard and Balls bundle from Manscaped. Head to manscaped.com. Use the code PAIN. That's PAIN, which I have a lot of, PAIN, for 20% off and free shipping. Don't fumble this opportunity. Your face and your balls will thank you, and it really does a great job. Now, my face, come on. As I say all the time, it's stunning to me that my wife can actually look at me. You know what I mean? Come on, I'm 71 years old. I'm a faded relic here, But anyway.
I'm not going back in time.
Well, no, but you look a hell of a lot better than I do. But anyway, I mean, it's not even debatable. And by the way, thank God my wife's back. A week ago today, I was still waiting for my wife to get in New York. Oh, what a disaster. I think she was just leaving Chicago at this point. But nevertheless, thank God she's back. Like the late great Bill Withers says, ain't no sunshine when she's gone. It's not warm when she's away. That's for sure. I don't want to sing it because I don't want to kill everybody with that. But never a more apropos song has there been when my wife's not around. That's for sure. All right, Benigno, the Oda Pain podcast. I can't end the show without complaining about my football team. I'm still so ticked off they let Rodgers go. And now you see where the Rams are actually, I guess, letting Matthew Stafford kind of explore what the, what teams are out there maybe would like to have him, what's the interest in Matthew Stafford? And I hear the Giants are interested in him. Shouldn't we be interested in Matthew Stafford? I mean, come on. This guy's still a very good quarterback. You took the Rams to the playoffs last year. They gave the Eagles the best game of anybody in the playoffs. They almost beat them. They had the ball with a chance to win it at the end. I mean, shouldn't we be interested in Matthew Stafford? Won a Super Bowl a couple of years ago. I know he's 37 years old. And you say, well, if we're going to go for a 37-year-old quarterback, why the hell did we let Rodgers go? Well, You know my feeling on that, but that's why the Jets never win. You know, and I don't know if I mentioned this or not, but I probably did somewhere. I saw that Elway to Marino 30 for 30 last week. I don't know why I watch it because it's painful. You know, as I'm watching, the Jets draft Ken O'Brien instead of Marino. We know how that worked out. But, it's the same thing. And it's the same crap over and over. I mentioned if they didn't draft Rob Moore with the supplemental draft in 1990, they could have drafted Brett Favre in the first round. Nah, why would we do that? That's the Jets. And then we get Rodgers, and everybody can't wait to throw him out of town. And everybody wants to blame Rodgers for the bad year last year, and they dump him. And I blame Woody Johnson for that, who's one of the worst owners, if not the worst owner in sports. What a terrible franchise. They really are. Yeah, just buckle up, Jet fans, for another terrible year. I'm sorry. I pray Aaron Glenn is the real deal. I like Aaron Glenn. I've mentioned it a million times. He was a very good player for us. But, shouldn't we be interested in Matthew Stafford? Are we really going to bring in Kirk Cousins? Is that really what we're doing? We got to draft a quarterback. We have to. And I'm all for drafting. I'm telling you, I am ready to take a shot because why the hell not? Nothing else has worked. I'm sick and tired of losing, right? We haven't had a playoff appearance since 2010, longest drought of any team in North America, every sport. It's crazy. We haven't had a winning season since 2015. We've had 5 consecutive years of double-digit losses. So why not just keep the trend going? What the hell? Shouldn't we be interested in Matthew Stafford? Really? I don't get it. I know you got to pay him a lot of money. So what? So we're going to bring in some stiff like Cousins, right? Is that what we're going to do? I'd rather have Justin Fields than Cousins, but still, I don't know. It makes me nuts. I told you I'd have interest in Daniel Jones. I really would. I don't know what the deal is. I don't know what Jones's deal is in Minnesota. I don't know what the Vikings are thinking there, but I certainly would be interested in him. But just expect the Jets to make another big mistake with the quarterback. I mean, what else can you think? And like I said, I pray Aaron Glenn turns out to be the real deal. But just remember this, even though I'm okay with Glenn, only because he wanted the job and he's a Jet, which, counts for something with me. You know how I feel about guys that played for my team, especially when they were really good players like Glenn was. But if this guy, I've said it a million times, if he was another coordinator who had never been a head coach in the NFL before and was going to be a first-time head coach, I would be beyond ticked off about this. So, I just, again, as I've said for years and years and years about this woebegone franchise, expect the worst. You're never disappointed. Never. So, what else can I say? And one other thing before I cut out here today, on my Saturday show this past Saturday, I had John Franco on, and we were talking about the Hall of Fame. And you all know my feeling on what a joke the Baseball Hall, well, they all are, but the Baseball Hall of Fame is front and center, the biggest joke of any. And the fact that Billy Wagner is in the Hall of Fame and John Franco is not is an absolute disgrace. And you know how many guys I could go on saying about that, from, Don Mattingly and Keith Hernandez to Albert Bell. And I'm not even talking about the steroid guys, Mattingly and Hernandez to Albert Bell to Jeff Kent, to David Cohn. I mean, we could go on and on and on with the guys that, should be in the Hall of Fame. And, of course, obviously Barry Bonds and Clemens and, A-Rod and Sosa and McGuire and Manny and all these guys should be in. I mean, of course, my thoughts on that. But if you're going to put Billy Wagner in the Hall of Fame, John Franco's got to be in. Just remember this. The relief pitcher, the closer who has the most saves for a left-hand pitcher in the history of Major League Baseball is John Franco. 424 career saves. Billy Wagner had 422. How the hell is John Franco not in the Hall of Fame? He did it for like 20 years. It's unbelievable. Wagner gets in, Franco's not in. I am so sick and tired of the absolute bullshit, because that's what it is, that the Hall of Fame is. It really is. It's a popularity contest. It's beyond. There's so many things that we could go into. If the writers like you, you're in. If the writers don't like you, you have no freaking shot. What a debacle. Everybody, enjoy your week. Hopefully I get out there on a golf course. We're going to find out pretty soon what's going on with that. And we'll see how it all plays out. Enjoy the week. You got the Rangers coming up on Tuesday. You got the Knicks, Rangers, Islanders Tuesday. Knicks, Philly on Wednesday. You also got St. John's and Butler on Wednesday. So you got some stuff to look forward to. All the college basketball. And you got the spring training games going on now down in Florida. So stuff starting to move and shake as far as the sports world is concerned. Everybody have a great week. God bless America. All the love, everybody. And we will talk to you on Friday.